Okay. Starting a few more minutes earlier than before I said I would, but I'm not really going to start it yet. I'll just wait a little bit longer. I need to start timing these exactly proper. So, I know what I said I was going to do. I've already gone over most of this. Why have I got the Resident Evil 3 logo there? Allow me to get rid of that. Which one was the Gaiden one then? Is it that one? There we go. I need to rename these. Give me a minute. Still haven't got this figured out. Why is it not letting me rename this? Okay. Don't let me rename it then. Why is it not letting me name that one? Hey, I know what it is, but why won't it let me rename it? Let's rename everything else but that one. Not that it matters. Did say I was going to start streaming at 1:30 and I've gone and gone, oh, I'll just start streaming 4 minutes early. Right. Which is why I'm not going to start actually streaming until 1:30, but I am on now. So let me try to remember the last blunder we had. Oh yeah, that was it, wasn't it? I said it was too long, too large, couldn't at least six zombies in there. Which, too many zombies for one room. So I was saying we should do some support structures going up, support beams and support the upper floor. Which would work, and it would make it an extra bit of a challenge because mechanics and stuff, but I'll see how we go with that. Wonder if I can get the old school Gaiden font. Well, I know I can get the old school Gaiden font. Do you know what? I might just do that quickly. Before I start, I mean, I've got another minute. No, I won't do it. I won't bother to do it this time. I'll do it next time. Try to be more prepared than I am. So, almost ready to start. I should try and do this 5 minutes before a stream rather than 20 minutes before a stream. It just makes it easier then, but I never do listen, do I? I never learn. It's all about practicing, though. It's all about working things out, I suppose. It's just 1 more minute to go. Do I tempt it? Do I want to? No. So I'm starting at 1:30, I'm starting at 1:30, and that's the way it is. So it is 1:30, I can start. Thank God for that. Right. So, like I mentioned last time, because we're working on this area now, as I mentioned, because of the way the angle is in this corridor and the way the game represents the data, you can't see this extra additional bit here, because it's hidden behind the wall. But as I've kind of shown with my build, there's all this space that's unaccounted for, and as I explained previously as well, because of it, there's so many enemies that you could put in that room because it's that big. So what I'm going to have to try and do is try and fill that with stuff just to give it a little bit more of a, an added challenge in there for when the game actually gets converted and put into game. But before I do that, I need to build the entirety of the room, and I've still got a lot more to do, so that's what I'm going to start doing now. So, again, this is what I mean, all this gappage here, there's all this space, and bear in mind, this is like the standard level of your character model from the game, so this is how big your character model is, and there's all this space, so I could put, well, 4 zombies in that one corner, and there's still space left over. It's like, no. So, again, I'm going to have to start putting stuff in. I suggested putting a table in here somewhere, possibly behind that wall, because you don't actually see anything behind it, for the pure sake that you don't see anything because of the angle. But obviously, because we're going to be doing this in pre-renders, it's going to be the other way around, so you're going to be able to see that. I also managed to fix my rendering settings, so everything now renders correctly. As you can see, it's not all crazy ass like it was last time, so it all renders correctly, so whilst I'm building you'll see all that working too. But let's continue with getting all this work done. So I think I still need to get all this detail around here completely done. So that's why I'll carry on with that now. Let's do that then. Wait, is that part of the wall just like not even... Well, isn't that just a bit of a cheeky bugger? Right. Let's attach that then. Or at least push it into place so I know exactly where the hell I'm at. Right, so I need to get this one. Okay, let's get that there. So I need to make sure this has all got the same stuff on. Oh wait, what am I doing? Not even using my template. How terrible am I that I'm not using my template now? So I just want to make sure they stay in the same position. Oh god, I don't go around there because we don't see it because of that, so I'm just going to cut it off at that point because you won't see behind there. So just want to get them. Let me just do an edge loop there as well. And then just obviously extrude these out a bit. So that's them done. I think the only places I have to do these now are on this side, don't I? Yeah. Thanks. Like I say, when I'm building these, what people tend to not realise is when we're trying to do this project now is we're trying to take stuff from like this, all 8-bit sprites, to 3D, and when I'm working with like a limited resource in that, sometimes you just don't know how big these rooms are until you've actually built them again. You've got a lot of stuff to fill in, you've got a lot of ideas you've got to throw at stuff, like, well, in case, like I said with this, we're clearly going to have to put a table or something here just to space it out. But I'll think of something else, I always do, but yeah. I try my best. So I always try my best with these rooms. I try my best with all the stuff I do. I want these to be as authentic to the game version of them as best I can, despite the fact that, it's not going to be accurate because there are some instances where it just doesn't make coherent sense in-game. But makes sense when you're playing it on the Game Boy Color because, again, Game Boy Color. Don't have to worry about 3D, don't have to worry about backgrounds, camera triggers, all that kind of stuff. Whereas I have to care about all that. And making sure everything just works and looks perfect. Then start screaming and blaspheming when stuff doesn't work properly. Which is what happened last time. Oh god. Right, let's get this all out of the way. Another thing you'll learn about me is I've gone from like so many different like variations on architecture, it's ridiculous. So I've gone from doing all that stuff for Resident Evil 3 and now I'm doing all this stuff here. And all the architecture is completely, utterly different. Because like we're going back to like an ornate type stuff and I'm used to doing buildings, so it's like, how do I adjust to that? But the advantage is with this is I can use a lot of the assets I built for that project in this. Like I used the little three-legged table that I actually built for that project in this game. It's in the main hall. I actually used it because it just fits in there perfectly and I just give it a retexture. RPD streets. Remember, you only get like a small section of those streets in RE2. But one of the cool aspects you'll learn if you've done that sort of thing is when you replay the games, like I've been doing with old Resident Evil 3 to begin with, is you can be like, oh well, I know that room way too bloody well because I built the bloody thing. I know each intricate little detail because I had to rebuild all those intricate details in order to be accurate to my own design. So it's always cool when you can like look at that stuff and be like, oh god, yeah, you've literally lived the game that much, you've built the bloody things now as well. Everybody who does this sort of stuff's cool. Everybody that does it. Everyone who can just sit there and learn like a 3D package and be like, right, let's build stuff. It doesn't matter if it's already an existing scenario, like I've seen with like a few, because it doesn't matter. Because regarding obviously Raccoon City itself, there's still so much storytelling from that series, and Capcom keeps refusing to do it, but will keep giving us games like Reverse, like Resistance, and all I want is an Outbreak file free, or a remastering of the original 2. I don't ask for much. What I will not say is that they need to remake Gaiden, because that's what we're bloody doing. So, right, that's all the little detailing's done for that little bits of wood going round. No, I don't want to render that. Nobody's going to be able to see the roof on, are they? So you see what I mean? I've got all the renderings now finally working the way it should be. Gives a little old school look. Ignore Barry stood there. I need a reference for everything. So I think we're starting to break into it now. It's starting to look like the room, which is good. Oh, that extra space is going to wind me up though, I swear. No, don't say that. You know, like there are already people saying, oh, we should remake the remake. It's like, no, why would you remake the remake? The remake was fine. It was already a remake. It's like, what are they going to do for the 9th game? Oh, I don't know. We could just kill every character off. Hey, that'd be a shock horror moment. Let's kill them all off. Start again with new blood, as you said. A whole new cast of characters. That'd be fine for me. As long as they don't kill off Barry. Because if anybody kills Barry freaking Burton off, there will be hell to pay. You know, when you've got the Chuck Norris of the Resident Evil universe, which is what I've dubbed him. You know. Don't even think about Capcom. He might be 64 in terms of the timeline now, but he could still frigging Falcon punch anybody. He could probably punch a bowler better than pissing Chris, that's for sure. So, yeah. That's just my whole reasoning on it. Oh dear, what am I like? Right, let me just check what else I've got. Right, no, I haven't got a camera set up for these yet. Right, that's fine. Also, what I did previously before this is I actually changed the door. So this door is now actually the door that leads outside. But as you will realise, as I was quickly show, that that doorway that leads from the deck into this hallway does not match where it should be. And that's obviously to do with the game. Everybody says I've got an echo. Right, let me check. I'm pretty sure I put a splitter on here or something inside the program so it wouldn't echo as much. Okay, have I got an echo now? Because I've just started adjusting the gain. Anything now? If it's fine or... I wonder if it's because I've got 2. Hang on. If I take that off, does that work? Does that work? I know I did a filter beforehand and I know I put one on. But I can't remember what the hell it was. I switched to camera view, it stopped. Oh, hang on, I wonder if it could be. I've got a feeling it might be the built-in camera interfering with it. There is a built-in microphone with the camera. But I'm pretty sure I've got that configured. Let me check. Am I now? Really? Ooh! What is it happening then? I don't know. This is why I get driven insane. You keep configuring stuff, you hope it doesn't work. Or it does work, and then it doesn't work, and then you get people saying there's an echo. You're like, oh Christ, no, not an echo, anything but an echo. So I don't know if it's because the built-in microphone on the camera's interfering with the actual microphone I got plugged in. Probably is, no, it might look. But I know I bloody configured it. 2 apps are using your microphone. Well, why would there be 2 apps using it? In fact, let me just check. This is all about access to it, though. Oh, is it? Alright, fair enough. Don't know why it is. I really don't know why it is. It's just very random. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I know last time I did it, somebody said it was echoing, so I had to switch the filters around and put the filter in, so I did that. Except I don't know which ones the filters got in, because I've got that many bloody things on here at the minute. Right. Where was I? Oh, it's through the door, wasn't it? So this door here is the one that goes through, but like I mentioned on the map, the door doesn't match up with the door on the deck, so I'm going to have to make a little deck area around here, like a little corridor that links to that. So I'll be doing that as well, but let me just concentrate on getting this stuff done first, because I'm going a bit mad, aren't I? Right. Okay, so what I can do, what I need to do, was it these, wasn't it? So just do them. So let me just grab those, drag that out, and then it's these, isn't it? Do that. I suppose the advantage of just doing pre-renders, it doesn't really matter about how high poly I make stuff, because it's not going to do anything. I don't use either Unity or Unreal because we're using the original Resident Evil 2 engine for this. That's alright, I understand you, don't worry. No, the idea behind this project is I'm working with a group of other people and we're rebuilding Gaiden in the original Resident Evil 2 engine. So it's all using pre-rendered environments. So all we're going to be doing is just making that a complete conversion mod. So everything that you've played in the Game Boy version, we're converting to the Resident Evil 2 engine from the old game from '98. So it'll be all pre-rendered environments rather than sprites. You'll have full 3D character models. We'll be trying to implement puzzles that obviously were in the original, because obviously we have to try and make all this dead space, as I call it, because there's so much space and so much in the game itself. Like, I've been replaying it a bit every now and then, and there's just so much where you're running around doing fetch quests for certain items that are in certain rooms, and it's like, well, we could probably do it a lot better with puzzles in this than having to go into a room, find this, go all the way back along that deck, go in that room, do this, and fetch quest repeating and all that crap. So it's going to be the same in that we're going to be porting everything in, but we're going to be adding puzzle implementation. Enemies will be in there, obviously, so we'll be making a whole new set of enemies for the engine itself. If some of it can be done, I mean, it could be. I'm not the programming person, I'm not even the scripting person, I'm just the 3D builder, backgrounder person. But that's the idea behind it. The idea was last year when we first started doing this. It's just that obviously we've all been busy with stuff in real life, and I can just sit down now and do a bit of this now because I've finished off another project I've been doing for 6 years, so that's finally done. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Excuse me. So it means I can sit down and get a bit more of this done. Which it really does need doing. I mean, like I say, I've got the majority of the rooms done on the west side of this second floor, but there's still a few I've got to do. But I just wanted to change the scenery because obviously each one of these bloody hallways is different. And as I thought this one would be too short, it turns out no, there's just so many issues with it. I've got to fix them all though. Right, I've got all those little details in there along the walls. I just need to see if I've got it all. No, I haven't, have I? Right. What to do? Do I... Got Control D, you. Control D. Grab that little bit there. Don't mind me, I'm rambling. This is how I do stuff. I need to get everything lined up. If I've been building it in like jigsaw type ways, in that it's not all done in one go, I always get like a template from what I'm working on. So it just means that when I'm, say, grab that there, it just means I can accurately put that together. Yeah. So I can obviously put that there, but that's going to cover that whole way around now. Oh dear. Right. Let's see what else I can do with this. So yeah, worked on my little project. I mean, there are streams for it up on my YouTube account, because I came from doing all the rooms for Resident Evil 3, the original, rebuilding all of them, and I've just finished that last year within like a few days of it being 24. So I was glad to just get that done. Because that took 6 years to do, and it did drive me a little bit crazy in the end, because I wanted to do this stuff as well, and it just never got to that point until now. So I'm just happy that it's finally done. I can kind of take a break, but also be doing this as well, so that's what I'm doing. But that's where my background comes from, in this and other Resident Evil stuff I've done over the years. Oh, crud, yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this in a bit. Just do that. All these little details that you see, it's just driving me mad. No worries. Thanks for showing up and having a quick walk talk with me and looking over stuff. It's appreciated. So where was I going with this? Oh god, maybe I should just rip the whole bloody thing up. But if I do that, it's all going to go to hell in a handbasket, isn't it? Right, let me just... I can just do that. Okay, grab that. Drag that. Rip it off. Keep doing this a lot, don't I? But again, this is so every little bit is accurate. I don't want it to be like an inch or two off. Even though you wouldn't be able to tell in the renders, I would be able to tell. And I wouldn't like that. It would drive me mad. So it's that done. So obviously I might as well just keep that little bit and just add those bits in, because as soon as I got all these little top details on, I can move on to these little pillars that are inside of the doors. So I just want to get these done. Like that. Let's do a quick save. I always quick save with these, primarily because if I don't quick save, 9 times out of 10, when I've ever encountered an issue, it's when mine decides to bloody crash on me, and then I lose about 5-10 minutes for work. And it always happens, funnily enough, when I'm texturing stuff, but I've had known it to crash when I've been doing like a boolean on an asset, or it's bloody crashed on me when I've been doing beveling, and it will just not like the way it's being beveled, and it will just crash. And if you've been doing 3D modeling like I have been as long as I have, you get to a point where it's second nature to save every so many minutes, just so that everything is bloody preserved. Okay, that's fine, because that's already done over there. So I just do that bit there, check that out. Done. Grab these. Do that one now instead. It's easier, isn't it? Okay. So that should be all of the detail that I need for that. Because I know I've still got to do the little bits at the top. Hang on, let me just get that map up again. I don't think I can zoom in on this image, can I? No. So anyway, I'd say squint and you'll be able to see, but you can kind of make out like all these little beams. And now this is the reason why I really wish I could get everything in Microsoft bloody Photos again and show it that way, because it worked originally. Now for some reason it won't bloody work. So I could zoom in and show you it basically got like little wooden sets of panels that are going along here. But what irked me last time was the fact that you can see half of them cutting into the wall, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that here because I want it to be complete going along. But there's also all these little like details above the door frames themselves as well. So I'm going to have to implement them at the end, but at the moment I just want to get these little details in where the door frames are, because I've got like these little sets that come out that I've been obviously building, and I've got them there as blocks. So these are ones I mean. So I just want to start building these now. And again, they've got details on them. You can see them in the sprites, but you have to like have access to the map file, and you also have to just squint enough to see the detail that's there. Good lord. Half time, no, it doesn't give you much to work with. So it's like you've got to try and get every little detail you can see out. It's like definitely a very ornate looking design there in this. So it's like, so let's see if I can do it. So this is what I see. So like a bit at the top there. So it goes to the bottom, but not quite at the bottom. And then you've got like just do that a little bit more. Okay. Now it has a curve to it though, doesn't it? So I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna bloody curve it. Oh, I suppose one way of doing it would be that way. And just kind of dragging these positions here. Doesn't matter about the bat because you're not going to see it. Not that it's for games development or anything, but so it's kind of like that shape. But then it has a little bit that comes out there. How am I going to pull you off? Some ways you can do these things, but I just kind of stick to what I know on how to do things. So I think what I can do is I can add like an extra 2 to each side there like that. This might work. Let's do that. That's it. That's the shape I wanted. So then what I need to do is just highlight shape. I know like in terms of next gen stuff we can sculpt this in, but I'm trying to be as authentic to the originals as possible, so I'm just gonna push that in. Obviously I'm going to adjust all of those because obviously you want to see those edges, so when it's like not wireframe, that's what it should look like. Wonder if I should put that all the way around though. Suppose not, because I mean they wouldn't have it on that side as well, would they? But then again, you wouldn't know what it looks like because you don't ever see the side of those because you're already looking at it from a top-down angle. So I'm going to keep it as it is. I'm going to keep them blank. I've got that little bit sorted. And then there's like that little bit that comes out. Oh yeah, there isn't there. quite a lot of stuff I've got to do for these bloody pillars, because then there's obviously the additional bit at the top which I'm going to have to put in, but I can't do that just yet. So that's from that point. So because I know where that is in terms of the sprite, I know from that point there to roughly about here, that whole part here can go inwards, because that's the that panel bit there, so that goes in like that. So yeah, then it's got that really obscure ornate looking thing on the door, and I'm pretty sure I know what that's going to look like, but I can get the overall shape put in first and then do that fancy bit later on. But I want to get this bit done as well, because there is that little bit of base there. So I'm just going to do that now. And that comes out a bit, so it'll be a bit weird, but we can just like duplicate and move that along. So I suppose that's not as bad. So that's going to come out there, that's going to come out there like that. Do I add that little detail in there? I mean, it's minuscule at best, but you know what I'm like, I'm a stickler for getting detailing correct. See if I can get it to work. No, I'll leave it. Leave it at that. I mean, in the day, a door frame thing, and it's a door frame thing, isn't it? Shouldn't really matter how crazy you go it. No worries. Thank you for joining in and having a watch and commenting. I apologise for the echoing. Right. So, like I was saying, it's just a case of getting this little ornate bit now in. See, I've looked at it and I'm like thinking there's so many different ways you could do it, but I'm thinking that with what it is it's got like... See if I can actually try and attempt it. I don't like doing fiddly bits on stream, it drives me nuts, but what can you do? Oh, while I'm here, shut the boundaries down so I'm not grabbing them. So basically, it's got that. Then you can see, like in the sprite, there's like these two embedded bits that are like this. I think there's 4, isn't there? No, there's 2. 2 big bits, 2 embedded bits. Just grab them. So they're like them. Oh, what the hell have I done? Ooh, that's a bit... Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Let's not go mad this time. Oh, bloody hell. What's going on there? Right, that's fine now. And that's another thing that happens half time on stream. Stuff like that happens. And then I'm like halfway through, I'm like, where's that half I needed? Oh yeah, you deleted it. Did you not realise? No. So you got like these 2 bits here. Scale them down, scale them in. But like at the sides of these, they're probably a lot more ornate. But because, again, the way the sprites work, you just don't bloody see. So it can be a pain just try to figure stuff out like this. But I kind of have a rough idea of how it should look. It's just getting the time to do it. I don't like doing ornate stuff because ornate stuff can drive me a little bit mad, which it does. It's actually pretty lengthy, isn't it, as well? That's really bloody big. But then again, this room's just gone all deranged and topsy-turvy as well, so it's like this big, according to like the sprites. In fact, it takes that whole bloody thing up like that. That's what it says it does anyway. And it's got like a little nook bit there that comes down. This is me just looking at the sprites and thinking, oh well, it's like that, is it? That's what I can see. Now whether it actually would look like that in 3D, I have no idea. Right, so that's them done. But what I'll have to do with this is mirror the geometry on that one, just not that way, because then it works on that side of the door frame. That'll do. So separate those, then just drag that along. And this is pretty much what I do. I just block everything out, then start building the detail in. So I know that this is all correct and everything, and I can just kind of grab one of them, drag them along. And then obviously, because I've got them two intact now, I can just go combine, done that, duplicate them, drag them along, flip them 180. That's them done. And let's just do a quick render, I'll see what they look like now. Because again, that's the other thing about these, is even though there is technically a door on this side, when you go in, because it goes into the piano room, you never see the door, you don't see the wall behind it, because again, it's obscured by the wall because of the angle away you're looking at in game. So it's again, I'm having to like get an idea of what it would potentially look like in 3D, so they would have them there. In fact, just thinking about it, doorway coming in would have these as well. Well, that's just completely screwed me over, hasn't it? I totally forgot about that. But yeah, they'd have them in as well. But it still fits. I mean, there's not like an issue with it. It just means it's going to be a bit... Oh, bloody hell, why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I think, oh, yeah, there would be there. There would be a doorway in there. There would be a set of these panels there as well to cover that door. Of course there bloody would be. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. But yeah, it's like... A lot of this is when, obviously, because you're looking at sprites, you've got to be able to, like, roughly get what the detailing is for this, because, like I say, each one of these floors is different depending on which side you're on. It's like, if we were to go a little bit more extravagant with the third floor, I think I can move this, can't I? So, like, you've got, say, all this little ornate paneling on this hallway that I'm doing now, but if you go all the way over to here, and you're in this hallway here, it's clearly got wallpaper on it. And you've got all these little alcoves and everything, and obviously all the architecture is slightly different to this one. So it's like getting your head wrapped around what it looks like in Sprite and then converting to 3D the best you can, what you can see. Which I can do sometimes. Not always, but just got to go with what you can do. So that's what I'm basically doing now with all of these, because all these now have got these panels done. I don't have to worry about them. So I can just slot them in, and then when it gets the texture in, just use one I've already got and just do my duplications and the like, and that's all that done. Right, you let me delete them. And then obviously these can go there. I'll have to do some adjustments to them. Pillars and the wall. I'm just debating. I don't think I'm going to need to put them there though, because I know there, but not here, because that's the door that goes out. I suppose I could add some kind of obscurity there, but then again, oh, did that have the all right, okay. Let me just delete them and not that then. And you've been a bit of a joker today. Right, so detailings are all done apart from the little ornate stuff I have to do on the very top of the walls, but I'll do that later date. Let's see what else I need to do. I need to do the lights. Well, when I say the lights, I need to do them, but try and bloody figure out what they actually bloody look like as well, because there's not much... I mean, looking at them, it looks like there's 4 like individual light bulbs, but then again, that could just be my eyes bloody playing up. But it's kind of like... Let's see if I can get this to look right. Let's see if I can get it to look like it does to some extent. So, let's build in the center. What it looks like to me is you've got like a small sphere at the bottom of it. I know it's big now, but I'll resize when I'm done. So I just want to smooth that. And then you've got like... I would say like a cone, but it's a lot more circular, a lot more smoother. So I'm just going to do a cylinder for this. And then just do my adjustments as I'm working, because that's usually how I work. So this needs to be a bit bigger than that. And then I just need to curve this in. I need to move that again there. And then I just need to put a few more edge loops in. I just want to push them out. See, the problem is if I push that in now, it should look fine. Yeah. That's all you see. You can see like these little lights blaring from it, but it's like, well, where the hell are they at? Other ones are easy to understand, but then just drag that in a bit. And that's a bit more flat as well, so if I just kind of do that. Right, so that's what that wall light looks like. But then the question is, if that's what it looks like, where's the lighting coming from? So if I'm saying there's 4 lights coming out of it, I'm assuming a chandelier, but why would there be a chandelier type on the bloody wall is the question. Sprites do not make sense. But then again, the whole bloody game don't make sense because it's a Gaiden game. It doesn't make sense because it's not canon. You know? Right, I don't know. How would I do it? I suppose what I could do is make them curved and have 4 curved lights coming out of that. But then that wouldn't make any bloody sense unless I got rid of that bit. I guess it would make sense now. Let me. That would mean me having to boot up the hang on, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna have to add the plugin in. So give me a minute, just quickly grabbing that using this little tool I've got inside of here. Right, so pipe in there. Make this 16 because I want to make it a bit more smooth. And that's a 1. Then I want to add 1. I'm going to bend it 90 and rotate it that way. So that's a 5, but I want to change the curve scale. And then do it like that, and then that's obviously where the light can be. So that's that finished. So that's basically roughly, it's just roughly like the way I see it, because obviously I'm looking at a sprite and the sprite isn't all that detailed because I guess, you know, I'm not trying to look at detailing on a sprite of a light. but I need something I can actually build off of. So according to this, there's like 4 lights that are on this thing. So just drag that up a little bit. Get myself a nice little sphere again. But I'm going to make it a little bit more flatter and a lot more. Yeah, let me just scale this in a little bit. So it's like that. And then obviously soften those edges. Move that to the front. Could even be that there's like 2 at the sides like this that are a bit further back, and then you've got like 2 at the front. They're a bit too big though, aren't they? May need to shrink these down a bit. Because again, you can't really see any of the detail on there. You can see the light sparkles, and there's like 4 individual sparkles, so I'm assuming 4 individual light sources in there. But there's no way to tell what the light source actually looks like. So it's like, right, the only way I can do this is if I push these 2 there and just shrink them down a bit. Which I'm going to have to do. Oh dear, right, fine. Excuse me. Scale them down a bit. So this is what I mean, like when you've got stuff like in the older games, you can easily kind of decipher what stuff is in a room, but when it's coming to sprites, it's a whole different bloody thing. That's better. Might even rotate them a little bit. Probably the most unusual looking bloody things ever, but it's just the way I can see it. I mean, technically, if we're going to be technical, you wouldn't have that bit on the wall. Or this bit here, because they'd be split in half. So technically, that's what the light would look like. Because it's 4 individual bloody light sources there. Right, let me grab them. And then just drag them in. So if I'm right, let me consult the map. That one is there. I'll shrink it down when I've got it in position so it's in that panel there. Scale it down a little bit more. Technically I can move that light there, but if I move that light there it'll make everything darker. So what I'm going to do is put that there. And then what I've got to do with this is there's actually a command which I can't remember where it's at. Is it in here somewhere? That's it, render stats. So I don't want it to cast shadows. Then that way when it's rendered, it won't cast any shadows there. But it's going to make everything so much more brighter in that room now. The ironic is you do it all, you put it in, but then you don't see it in the renders. Oh, God, right, I'm pushing the camera back. I'm pushing it back a smeg or two. Just, you can see that bloody light there. I'm going to put it there. This isn't going to work, is it? Right, put it back. I might have to push this camera back a little bit. But that would mean me having it there. All in there was so you can just see where that bloody light is. Oh, it's just not there, is it? It's driving me mad. Fine, we won't show it on there, but it is there. Right, X1. Grab me, drag me, and put me in the right position. At least you'll be able to see this bloody one, because it's right there. So it's there on that part of the wall, in that panel in there. So, I think that was number 2. Yeah. Yeah, you can just make it out there on the wall there. And technically there is one there, because you can see the light source and the sprite. I just don't know what part of the wall it's actually on. To take a guess, I would say it is on this one though. Probably about here, give or take. I'm going to put it there. Put that here. So that looks like. See, that looks fine, but then we've got the issue of it being too dark in that bloody area now. I suppose I could put an exit sign there. Might do that actually. Get like a little exit sign above there that's illuminated, so it's going to be giving off a little bit of green. Let's do that. But then drop this down to say about 0250. Yeah, that'll do. Just a little bit of emergency light there for the light thing I'll put in there eventually. Because you don't see that side of the wall, so I can get away with it there. So those lights are there. Technically, I could put the emergency lighting, but then... And I know I put emergency lights on that side of the deck. So I suppose I could put them there as well, for consistency. Because then that would explain where the darker areas are. But then again, if we keep some light in and keep them off, I suppose that'll just show that there is some power going through the ship, I suppose, if we really want to go there. I'll leave that for another bloody time, no, because I mean, just getting all this stuff done. Lights are all in, doors are in. Got the panels done. Next thing I really want to be getting to do then is... The roof's already done. I don't want to be doing the... Well, I suppose I could do the collision, but then this is where I said we need to figure out if I'm going to put a bloody table in or not, didn't I? Because there's just so much space there that you can see. So I wonder, what have I got in assets? Let's have a look. What can I throw in here? Give me a table. We got one. No? No? Nothing? Not even the 3-leg table. Right, where are you at? Right. Oh, you're very small, aren't you? You're going to be a pain. I mean, I suppose I could make this one bigger. It's just something there, isn't it? Just to add space, because they'll add some kind of like model on there or something. Then again, you're not even going to see that, are you? God in hell. Right, how many cameras have I got to use? What can I use that's spare? Even though I can add more if I need to. Right, so I know this one's camera free. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag camera free here. And put it in the bloody corner here. So... Let's have a look at what that looks like now, because I can just add a camera 4 in there. The camera's stage at the minute, it doesn't matter what the cameras are or where they're at, as long as you can see every bloody thing. Oh, Barry, why would you have to get in the way? Why would you torment me so? Just shift yourself out of the boundaries. Let's just work with this. Right, so that's where the table is, and that's textured. That's probably why it's looking like it's black. Why is it looking like that? Oh, it's got the table. Oh, that's using the Resident Evil 3 one though, isn't it? I think what I'm going to have to do is just slap a standard... I'll slap a bling on it. But I'll change it to like a brown. Because obviously a lot of the tables now, if you ever look in the older RE games, you can tell they just had like a material just slapped on them to make it like wood. So there's that. I need to change reflectiveness on this as well. Ooh. Change it to 0. Don't want it to be too reflective. For obvious bloody reasons, because it starts to reflect the bloody... the parts in the room. It'll start to reflect the geometry and the texture, and then what you'll get is the most weirdest thing ever in the bloody world. You don't want that in a pre-rendered environment, so there we go. There's that. Swear I could put a couple of chairs there. I'm going to do that now. So this is where I start having to take a little bit of artistic, you know, license with it, because again, you don't see that part of the wall behind because of the angle the camera is in Gaiden. So it's like I've got to fill this space in with something. So I'm going to go with that. Did I actually... No. Guess I'm going into that room then. Right, let me go into... It is the main hall. I call it the main hall, didn't I? Main hall. Right. Where's my chairs? I'm going to nick a chair. You'll do. Yeah, that'll do. Brilliant. Quickly hide everything so nobody sees anything. Because the thing is, obviously, you've only seen this in like footage. You've not seen like how many renders I've tossed into like the Discord that we've got set up for this. So I'm trying to keep everything hidden, so that when you actually get to play this and look at the backgrounds in game, all the stuff you'll be like, oh, okay, that's cool. But yeah, let me just share. Just want to freeze that, and then just get my asset. Perfect. Bring that into this hallway. Main hall share with it. There we go. That'll be there. Then I can just slap this in here, either side. Just to fill it up, and then obviously those boundary collisions I can put in there for that will just make it a little bit more interesting. Now the question is, if I put this in, it's going to break panels, isn't it? Unless I put a lamp on the table. There's an idea. So you always think outside the box when you do these things. So all of a sudden something else will drop and you're like, oh, there you go, I could put that in there. I'll have to grab that from Resident Evil 3 though. But that just gives it a bit more oomph to it now, because it's not just like a blank wall. There's a chair in there. Two chairs and a table. I can put stuff on the table. I can put maybe a bit of glass on the floor. It just adds a bit of, you know, a bit of something to it. Because the other thing I suggested last stream I did this was to put some support beams in, so obviously supporting up the 3rd floor, because there's just that much space. Adding those in just adds a little bit more of a mechanical factor in, so you can use those to dodge zombies. But like I've been showing, you can put about 6 of them in this bloody area. Just 6 of them. Oh yeah, let's just put as many zombies as we want in here, because we can get that many in. We don't want that. Oh dear. Start looking at the map and look at the lighting and saying that doesn't make any sense because there's just no way you can do it. I'm going to ignore that. Right, I've got that there. I seriously could just dump a little, few of these around. Because it's not like I'm taking any bloody artist, not like I'm taking the absolute piss with it. Because they're just a bit bare. I don't like things bare. It bores me. I suppose I could have a couple more. But then again, I could have another table there, and that would actually add a bit more intrigue to it. And that fills in a bit more, so I'm not having to, moan about things. That's the thing, I'm just moaning about space at the minute. There's just... See, that just gives it a bit more oomph. It's not, desolate. It's not, sparse or empty. There's stuff in there. Just gives it that extra oomph, that little bit more intrigue. And I suppose if you're an older person, you've got a chair you can sit on that's right next to the bathroom. That makes it more interesting. Why am I thinking like this? Why do I keep thinking like this? Is this because of the fact that Resident Evil 2 Original does not have a single bathroom in the precinct? Could that be the reason why? Could it just be that I'm just thinking outside the box and thinking, well, we've got 2 toilets there and there's no seats to sit on if you just wanted to just chill out there? Not that you'd want to chill out on a bloody thing in a zombie-infested ship, would you? But you know what I mean. Oh, I've gone a bit mad, mate. Gone a bit mad. Right, so add those in there. I'm so tempted to add a support beam in there. It would just fill the thing up, and it would just make it a bit more interesting. Let's have a look. Let me just stick a block in there. Let's see if it would make it interesting. I mean, even if it's not there. Let's have a look. So, mate, it makes it that much more interesting if you've got a support beam there. And obviously make that a bit more ornate, and obviously make it a bit more in design with what you've got to work with there. So obviously take those panels off the wall, stick them around, and then obviously do the paneling for one of those panels on the door frames itself. That would fit in with the architecture, and it fit in on a whole, and it just makes it that much more interesting. Because, I mean, how the hell is this even being held up? I'm ranting again today. I'm ranting again about it all. This is what I did last stream. I started ranting that this is too much space. There has to be some sort of support beam there, so that when it goes up, it's supporting the 3rd floor. You're going through here, where the hell's the support beams? You go in the mansion in the original game, you've got support beams, haven't you? In, if I remember, the west side, the west hallways and that. You go down into the west part of it. And obviously you got support beams on the lower floor that are supporting the upper floor. And if I go into that tent, that light thing, it's basically where you find that zombie. And then you come back later on in the remake and the body's disappeared, but it's also where that zombie's going down the stairs and it starts vomiting at you. I'm on about that one. You can see support beams there. I mean, fair enough, it's to maybe hide enemies and what have you, but at least it gives you an idea of, yeah, they're holding up this. Where the hell's this holding up there? But then again, I've never been on a ship. Maybe there's a reason why there isn't support beams on a ship. Maybe they don't need them. Maybe it's because it's structured. I don't bloody know. I've never been on a ship in my life. I can't really comment on it. But I would actually have to assume that there would be some sort of support beam there. Because again, it's just filling in the gap. It's making it look more full than just like a bloody empty square of nothingness. It just gives it like character. That's my own thought process. Because it just looked so bare when I was looking at it, comparing it, and after I'd finally matched it up, and I was like, it looks so bare. I'm going to have to put a support beam in. I mean, do I want to look at the renders for one? Get an idea? Let's have a look. Don't mind me, I'm literally going to go check the renders for Resident Evil 1, get an idea what they're going for. Usually that's how I do things. No, not 1.5, that's not going to help me in this case. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, I noticed a lot of the rooms, not all of the ones in the mansion, had support beams in, but that one on the west side did, and I always kind of question, like, why was that the other one that had support beams? There has to be a reason, but I've got to question it. And I'll look at it and think, wait, no, that wasn't in the original, that was definitely in the remake, but no, it was in the original too, wasn't it? It's just trying to find which bloody stage it is. It's got to be stage 2, doesn't it? I assumed it would have been stage 1. Oh no, my mistake. Why am I humming the mansion themes? Come on. No? No? Well, it's got to be there. Just bear with me, I'm just going off on a tangent. There it is. Yeah, I knew there was a support beam there. Right. And it's in the centre, holding it up. It's only one. Do you know what? I'm gonna put one in. To hell with it. It just makes more sense, and it just makes that little section a lot more fuller looking than just like a square. So again, I'm taking liberties with this, but it's all because I want it to be a bit more interesting. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll just put that down here like this. I suppose though, if we wanted to, go in with the whole gap thing and be like, well, technically it was a luxurious ship. Who's to say it wouldn't have a panel like that? Who's to say it wouldn't have a support beam going up? Got to question every bloody thing with this, don't I? So, okay. Just change those, soften those edges. Okay. Could do a render right now. You see, it just adds a bit more interest to the room. It's not like fair enough, I'm going to have to move that now anyway, because that should be in line with that light there. I'm just trying to think what kind of I suppose if I wanted to keep within the design aspect of what it is in here, I could do this. So I could just make one more. So it just keeps within the same design aspect that these wall panels have with that. Keeps within the aesthetic as well. See, that works because... Although that doesn't bloody work because now there's no light source there. Oh, what the... We're gonna do? That's got an intensity of 1. That. Give me a quick one there. Put that there. Do I call that a spam? Do I call it spam because it looks like it? Or for motion, just like I learned it myself. Thinking, bring that out a little bit. Right, so that's that. Try to think how I can make this a little more interesting. I suppose what I could do is put this out at the bottom. Again, this is me going into like original content. There is no beam there in the game, but I just think it'd look a bit more interesting with a beam in. Because it's just a very plain part of the room. See, so it still fits in with the confine of the room. So it's not like I'm changing everything that's there in the sprites, it's just I'm just trying to make it a bit more interesting to look at. Which this is doing, because it fits in with the design of it. That's going to be interesting to sprite as well. And having your depth masks and stuff. I suppose if I wanted to be a cheeky git, I could have one down here as well. Have it like there. Kind of know going against everything, but you know, of course, the issue would probably be then is that it's getting in the way of that, so then that wouldn't work. Let's not go too mad with it. Let's not go too mad with it. I'll just slap one of them in just so it's a bit of space in there, a bit of intrigue. Right, so I suppose with that done, I could start doing the texturing now. I've got everything done I need doing for this room. It's just a case of going over it all. So yeah, I could start texturing it now. So let's have a look. So that floor texture is obviously completely and utterly different. So now I've got to find something that even resembles it. Let's have a look. See if I can find something that resembles it. It isn't anything. This is another thing that's confusing about some of these rooms, is try to find a texture that resembles the floor. Because sometimes I can find it, other times it's like, nope, can't do that. Then you just see me going a little bit crazy on cam, trying to find something that looks like it. That one does look like it. Let's have a look. Oh, is Photoshop going to boot up now as well and show up on the thing? I'm like, oh. It is, isn't it? Alright, let's have a look. Yeah. So that one doesn't look too bad. And it is seamless. The question is now, though, well, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to UV map the bloody floor. I could put it hallway bound in there. That's it. But I'm going to have to split the floor from the wall to do this. Do that. And then, of course, the issue is if you've got too many bloody edge loops, you just need to get rid of some. That'll do fine. That'll do. I wonder if I can actually just stick that in. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Quick access. Let me just do this. Gaiden. Let's have a look. So 2F east away vortex. Let's have a look. It's UV mapping, that's what I want. Let's call it 4. Cool. 2F east away text. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Get rid of the outliner for now, I don't really need that. Got that hyper shade. Let me just have a look. Let me take a quick look, see what this looks like. Maybe I need to adjust the size of it. Yeah, it's a bit too big, that. Bit too big. So let's see if that looks alright. That looks alright. Because I suppose for like the wall texture, I can just use the wall texture using the main hall. What did I use in the main hall though? That's the question. Yeah, I don't look too bad. Yeah, I like it. We'll stick with that floor texture, but I need to now do the wall texture. Let's have a look. I know the textures are loaded in. Let me just see what we've got in my hypershade. I'll go wall. Why have I got it set as a Fong then? That's confusing me very much. Let's figure it out. Let's have a look. Right, let's do it for camera 0. I can get a rough idea what the hell's going on with this. So I'll do it for all of this here. Prepare for my laziness to be shown, but then again it is pre-rendered. So let me just see what this looks like. Why have I got it set to Fong? Yeah, that don't work as a Fong, does it? It's going to have to be changed to a Lambert. Let's try rendering it now. Because it just looks like pale bloody brown there. And we don't want a pale brown bloody wall, do we? That just looks so weird. If you're going for 8-bit mode, maybe, but no, I don't think it'd work this. It's going to have to be like that. Let's see what happens when I keep going with the texturing though. Let me have a look. This is literally the lazy man's way of texturing. As far as I'm concerned, I've earned it. I've done enough craziness with that bloody Priory Free project, so... Let's have a look. I might need to change the brown because it's interfering with the door. Maybe that's why. Yeah, that's why, because that's using the same... Yeah. Right, let me go looking for a bloody wall texture. I don't like it. Let's have a look. But no panellings. Why does everything have to go up with panellings? People really that obsessed with panelled wall textures and stuff. All I want is a standard wood texture. Something that looks interesting. But not too old looking. And not done with panels. Good lord. I'll stick with a bog standard one, he says. No, I don't want it plankways either. This is not a bloody wooden cabin in a woods. I need something that looks wooden. But it's not gonna like clash with that wood, but then it isn't too bright either. It needs to be dark and come on. Come on, brain, find me something that looks interesting. They're getting smaller by the minute, these things. I mean, that one looks alright. Let me have a look with this one. Let's have a look. Let's see how this one goes. So, yeah, what? So obviously, first things first, I'm not going to slap that in there where that should be. I'm going to make a new one, call it wall. And then, let's have a look. Right, let's have a gander here. So, let's compare it. See, that one ain't too bad. But I do need to change that now back to a bloody phone, don't I, for that particular thing, because that was the doors, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So then I have that bit of sparkliness to them. Wait, has that got any reflectivity on? Oh, it does. Oh, let me just get rid of that. Yeah, let's just put a bling on it and a thong. Let's just see what happens when we have reflectivity everywhere. Good gravy. Right. I don't think that looks too bad, actually. But again, it's just trying to figure out, like, the wood to it, I suppose. God, I'm so bad with saying this. I just slap it on, that'll work. It's not going to cause all kinds of stuff to go crazy. But again, at the end of the day, I mean, for me to do it this way, I know it's cheap and, you know, it's just cheap and cheerful way of doing it. And it's not like I'm on a schedule or anything. I could easily just do it. It's just try to see if it looks right. It looks alright. Keeping with the whole aesthetic, that's for sure. Unless that wood at the top's different. No, it's not. I think it's just because of the darkness. It's sort of like shown in it, even though there's no darkness in there. It's the darkness shown in the thing. And that just sounds so confusing when I say it. Play through it and check the sprites, you know what I mean, because there's like light on the sprites. Let me try and figure out which one that is. That's it. Right, let's test it on these then. Just grab them, grab those, slap the texture on, just have a look at what it looks like. Have a look. It doesn't look that bad. It's keeping in the paneling and everything. Might just be the floor texture I need to give a change to, maybe. Maybe it's just looking a little bit weird and funky for my liking. I don't bloody know. Ah. Let me continue slapping this texture on. Let's just have a look. In fact, let's just slap the whole bloody thing on and let's do it that way. Jesus wept. Right. So, right. Because again, I can re-UV map and adjust these as I see fit. I'm just being a really lazy git today, which is bad for me. I don't think it looks too bad, actually. Then again, I'm trying not to be like the overcritical swine that I am. Like I said, I can't really say anything because I'm the one building it. So all I'm really doing is just trying to see if it actually works. This is like me half-assing it, so but I can change the scale and everything these textures use. It's not like it's an issue. I'm just slapping them on to see what it looks like. I suppose it works. Works for what it needs to. Right, I need to put another camera in now, don't I? So that was camera 3, isn't it? So I need to get camera 4 in. So, and I just need to put that so that it's facing this way instead. And maybe just like a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. Might need to move the camera over a bit. Oh, definitely have to move that over a bit. Bloody hell. Move that up a bit. Potentially move it like that. Let's have a look at that. That works, except now there's no bloody light there. You can't see the bloody door. Gonna drag that along. Just put it in front of the door like that. Maybe put it there. This is going to interfere with that green, though, isn't it? No, not as bad as I thought it would, actually. Not too bad, actually, that. Cameras. Right, let's finish this up then. Oh, this is going to look weird, isn't it? But that's just the way it goes. I'm going to just automatically map everything for that. I know, cheap and tacky. I feel bad just thinking about it. Usually I do all the UV mapping manually. See, now there's a problem because it's using that same texture. But then again, ooh, if I were to use the texture that the door uses, that would make it stand out a bit. It just looks a bit bland if I'm using the same bloody texture, doesn't it? You just can't even tell, can you? The hell? Really? That's how I got to do a bloody texture for these, because I can't see them. Because that will just make me very unhappy. No, you can't see them, can you? It's... Well, you can, you can't. It's just because that's... Hmm. This is going to be an interesting bloody thing, isn't it? Because you can kind of see the textures, but because they're bloody wood and because they're similar, it's like, no. Why would you do this? See, it sticks out there, fine, you can see that. It's just the bloody side parts when... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but at the same time it matters to me because I know we can do better with them. I don't know. I'm rambling. This is what I do. I kind of hum and ha when I'm looking at stuff and I'm doing it, and I'm like, does that look right? Could I make it look a little bit better? Could I make that floor a bit darker? Do I find something a little bit more suitable looking, but then it looks bland, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Let's see if I can find something else. See if I can find something else that like works. No. Isn't that the one I'm using? No. Right, let me see how this one looks then. One moment. I was about to bloody say, don't you lie to me, clipboard. Right, let me have a look at this one then. So this is where I start to like not a case of second guessing myself, it's more a case of, can I make that floor texture look a bit more interesting? Let's have a look. Let me just keep that render in the image thing. Okay, let's have a look now. I don't know, the first one looks better now. That definitely looks better now. The old one looks better, doesn't it? I guess I'm going to stick with that one. And this is like the sort of things you start questioning yourself when you start building stuff like this. Does it match up with what it needs to? I suppose I put the roof texture on because it's just going to be the same wood texture I'm using for the floor and the walls. Which is of course the bloody roof. It's got its own bloody thing. Let me have a... Where are we? Right, let's see what this looks like then. See, I don't look too bad either. But then bear in mind that's just a roof, isn't it? So yeah, you're gonna realise I do a lot of second guessing when I'm looking at assets. I'm like, could I do that better? Could I slap that kind of a texture on? Could that make it look more interesting? I don't know. That's just the way I am. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I really need to do. I mean, it's just a case of... Obviously, you're seeing how we build these things. When I say we, I, at the minute, just me on my own doing this for this at the moment. This is how I build stuff. This is the process I go through. Obviously, you build everything up and you start looking and thinking, right, these angles are going to be in game. This is where this should be. This is what this should be like. But the question is, will that translate well when you're running it in game? That's the other thing you got to think about. Because what might work for some might not work for others. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it without texture because I mean, you can see the detailing on it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Rambling away that I do. It's how things look, doesn't it? Could do. But the thing is, you don't see these though, do you? Which it sucks on itself because you don't really see that much bloody things for these. I'm doing them in the right position. So what I'll do is grab them, slap the entire metal thong on them, and I need to get a light Why would I want a glass? Don't really need that. All I would need to do is do a Lambert. Call it light. Set that to white. No transparency or anything. I'm moving that camera back. It's a waste of time if I build something and you don't bloody see it. Put about that. Let's see now. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. No, I got to definitely do something with these, wasn't it? Incandescence, when it? That's how we do it. So when you render them now, they look like bright light bulbs. That's it. So got the bright light bulbs working there now. Brilliant. But I do need to, I think I'm right. Just combine these a minute. I need to make it so that they don't cast shadow. Because you'll notice the lights don't actually cast shadow in the older renders. A lot of them don't. And it's just the lights that look like they're illuminating, but they don't cast shadows. The actual assets don't. In some instances that I've noticed in some of the rooms. And that's kind of where I go with it. Oh, I know it looks weird, but that's literally what the sprite looks like, and I'm just sticking with it because I'm trying to be as authentic as possible to like the lights and everything in it, which don't bloody help because you can't bloody see half the room with that kind of like thing going. So it's just a case of figuring stuff out. Stream up to 6 o'clock. Oh god, I've gone over by 9 minutes. That's fine, don't bother me. Right. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this stream today. What were we on Thursday? Might try to stream Saturday night. Yeah, I'll try and stream Saturday night, but I'll keep updated on my Twitter feed about that. Because that's usually where I kind of post updates if I'm going to stream or anything, and I'll be like, right, I'm going to stream today at this time, blah, 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 I'll be on. But yeah, I'm going to finish the stream here. I'd like to thank everybody who's been watching this stream. And if you are enjoying the streams themselves, and it's getting like you're getting an in-depth look at like how we build rooms for Resident Evil games, that's cool in its own right. And if it interests you, then please keep following this project, because obviously we've got a long way to go before the demo is going to even be out, because we've still got to get the rooms built, scripting and all that stuff. But you will be able to play these eventually. So I will be finishing the stream now, and I will see you hopefully on Saturday. But if anything happens, I'll keep updated on the Twitter, my own Twitter, and I'll post it out if I'm going to be streaming, but I should be. So anywho, that's this stream done.